comfortable in a language, in a foreign language. We are going to have an amazing class today, guys. This is a webinar. I'm simulcasting to 10 different platforms right now. So if you are listening to this somewhere, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, anywhere, make sure that you reach out. And we are going to have an amazing class, guys. All right, so definitely reach out and let's see who is here. All right, so introduce yourself if you are in the chat. Say hello to everyone and share where you're from. All right, so that is the key. All right, guys. So if this is your first time here on the live stream, I'm David, your favorite teacher, and I love languages. I love learning languages, and because I love learning languages, I love teaching languages as well. I like to share my passion with others. And today I'm going to give you a routine. We're going to talk about a way that a system that you can use to learn whatever language you're learning. If you're learning English, Spanish, or French, those are the languages that I teach. I teach English, French, and Spanish, but you can use this exact system for any language. And we're going to use AI. I'm going to show you this routine that you can use with AI, and it's amazing. So if you are watching this somewhere on social media, then join our WhatsApp community. Our WhatsApp community is a place where you can get exclusive content, weekly challenges. We have an amazing community, people from all around the world. We have a speaking club where you can practice your speaking, practice your conversation skills. We have Zoom lessons, and you have direct access to me. But if you have questions, if you have anything, then that is the place. The WhatsApp community, that's where you can get direct access to me. I'm very active there. I share exclusive content. I share tips. We have games, challenges. It's amazing. So definitely join this community. It's great. I'm doing well, Maria. Thank you for asking. Welcome to class. Welcome to class, everyone. So let's start. Let's start with the first myth, right? That the success in language learning, well, the myth is that if you work hard, if you study hard, you're going to make it. That sounds good. Everyone will say it. Now, it's not absolutely false. I mean, working hard, studying hard does yield some results, but real success in language learning doesn't come, or doesn't get from studying harder. All right, so here I'm integrating this informational webinar into an English class because a lot of my students here are English learners. So instead of just information, we are gamifying it, where you get to choose the correct answer. All right. So we're talking about success right here. And then, of course, for English learners, you can choose A, B, or C. 5 seconds. All right. So here I talk a lot about mastering languages, and this is a topic that I'm really fascinated about. I spend hours every day trying to crack the code. What's the secret? Why do some people learn tens. Literally, I know some polyglots who know 20 languages. Now, people will say, well, they have a different brain. And it's true to a certain degree, right? It is an ability, right? It's my research shows me that it's a lot about brain plasticity, gray matter, right? Neural pathways, right? That's I won't go deep into the science, but that's one part of it. The other part of it is what you can do, and what I do, and what polyglots do is they develop a system to learn, right? A routine, and that's what we're going to do today. So you know, uh, stick to it. Don't go away because I'm going to uncover this system with you. Right? Irena is here. Welcome, Irena. Welcome to class. So, success doesn't come from studying harder, right? Studying hard helps, but success, you need more than just studying harder, right? Success comes from showing up, showing on, showing in every day with a clear, focused routine. That's what we're going to talk about. Right. So the first thing to understand is that we need to mm, to have a routine. We need to build a routine that we do every single day. I'm going to make a lot of sports analogies here. Hi, Micah. Welcome. Micah from Finland is here. Good to see you in the live chat. So success comes, so it means success. It comes from showing up, on, showing in every day with a clear focus routine. So, with the gym analogy, right, when you go to the gym, right, you have a routine. You say, okay, today I'm going to do cardio. I'm going to stretch. I'm going to do a back workout, a chest workout, leg workout. I'm going to work out my arms. Right? If you've played sports, you also understand that the best trainers, the best coaches always give you a routine. It's a focused routine. If you're a tennis player, if you're Djokovic, you don't just show up, oh yeah, just play. Just play. Like it's fine. You'll become a champion. No, it's a routine. Right? Champions understand routines. Right? So you got to show up every day. That's the first thing. Show up. Now, I'm going to give you a 20-minute, only 20 minutes. That's it. 20 minutes. You need to do it every day, but it's focused and it's clear. Right? So before we do that, I'm going to break it down for you. So it's 20 minutes, and we're going to target the 4 foreign language skills. And we need to do this. Right? Kind of if you're, let's say, if you're a tennis player, right, you need to master serving, you need to master the forehand, the backhand, right? Playing, um, playing at the like close to the net, right? So you need to master a lot of different skills. So for language skills, all 4 skills work together. So reading, listening, speaking, writing. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're saying, hey, David, I just need speaking. I don't care about writing. I have ChatGPT. Now, that's an interesting point because a lot of people, I've gotten those comments a lot. But here, writing is important for speaking because writing is slow speaking. You're still producing the language, it's an output. So you're creating ideas with the language. And even if you don't want to become a writer, even if writing perfectly is not important for you, even if you have ChatGPT that will correct all of your mistakes, that's not the point. the point is to use writing in your routine, right? Like an exercise. It'll exercise your brain. It will help you create ideas and using the language that you have to produce your ideas, to produce language, right? It's synthesizing. When you synthesize, you take different elements and you put them together and you create a sentence, a message. Common is here. Welcome, Common. So 20 minutes, each skill 5 minutes. 5, 5, 5, and 5. Now let's start with the first one, right? So we have four skills. What do we need reading for? So you read to understand structure, to understand levels, or to understand balance. Think about this. When you read, what are the benefits, or what is the main benefit of reading? Okay, so good. Anybody else? Kamen, welcome, Kamen. Welcome, everyone. Sanja is here. Sanya. I think it's Sanya, right? So the J. So in English, the J is J, but in the Balkans, right, in Croatian, the J is like Y. Do I have a relaxing lamp? Yes, I do. I have a nice little LED lamp behind me. Right. So amazing. Great. So feel free to ask questions in the chat. Right now I'm interacting with the community. If you want to join the community and interact in the chat and ask me questions, then let me know. I will send you the invite link to the WhatsApp community. And there you can participate, you can vote A, B, or C, and you can earn points, right? It's gamified. We have a lot of very, very good challenges here. All right, so of course, we need to understand structure. So let's talk more about this. Reading, when you're just, let's say, before we talk about reading, when you're listening, you're pretty much just catching words. Right? You're saying, okay, oh yes, baseball, soccer, hot dog, friends, weekend. Your brain is forming an idea and catching words. When you're learning a language, you need to understand structure. Reading is the only activity that gives you that. I mean, it's the best activity that allows you to structure, right, where you see the order of the words, you see how ideas and how sentences are formed. You see the formula, you see the blueprint, you see, and where most people are visual learners. So reading gives you the structure. So you need to be reading. Okay, that's the most important thing. You need to be reading because then you'll understand the structure of a language. You write. So it's the second skill. Skill number 2. You write to build meaning, to build fluency, or to build understanding. Right. So why do you write? So later I will show you the routine that involves reading. It involves writing. It involves AI. Right. And it's only 20 minutes every single day, and you will see amazing results. Exactly. So you write to build what? Think about this. Right. When you're writing, this is what I was saying earlier. Right. Think about it. Well, first of all, it has to be with a pen. Right. It has to be a pen. So it has to be handwritten. You can't type. It has to be handwritten, and and I will share some details later about why it has to be handwritten. I know you guys love to type, everyone loves typing, but this exercise works with handwritten. Remember, we've only been typing for less than 100 years, but we've been writing by hand for thousands of years, right? So our brain, our in terms of evolution, our brain still understands handwriting much better than typing. There's a bigger connection there, right? It also activates a different part of the brain, right? And but yeah, here we go. It builds fluency. People say, well, no, fluency is about speaking, David. David, fluency is about speaking. But remember, fluency is when it flows. All right. When you're writing by hand, it needs to flow. Right? You can't go back and erase. You can't, say, I need to do this. And no, this needs to go here. Oh, this is a mistake. What typing does is that it allows us to go back. Oh, let me erase this. Oh, this goes here. Oh, let me change it. Oh. But when you're speaking, you can't do that. You can't say, oh, no. Okay, that word that I said 10 seconds ago, actually that word needs to go here. And then the word that I said, okay, that one, I need to change the ending. So let's go back and change the ending. And let's go back to the end of the sentence. And actually, the end of the sentence needs to continue. It's not the end of the sentence, so we need to continue writing it. That's not how communication works, guys. Communication, once you say it, you can't go back. It has to flow. You only get that when you write by hand, right? You write with a pen, right? And this allows you to build fluency. This allows you to organize your ideas in a coherent way. And then when you put it on paper, it's done, right? Just like when you speak, once you say it, right, you can't go back and fix the grammar and stuff. No, you've already said it. Right? People are not going to be patient. People are not going to, sit around for you to fix all of your mistakes, right, while you're speaking. People don't have time. Say, all right, tell me what you need to tell me, right? Just get it out. So writing does build fluency, believe it or not, right? So does writing build meaning? Not really. I mean, you tell me what you think, if you think it helps you build meaning, but linguistically, right, it helps you build fluency. Now, meaning in the sense of if it has a purpose for you, or writing can be very meaningful. In that sense, yes. But here you don't understand the meaning of things. You don't understand comprehension from writing. Writing builds fluency, right? Exactly. So now we have reading and writing. Now you listen to train, or trainer your ears. So this is something else, right? When you listen to me, when you come to the live streams, you are training your ears. You're saying, oh wow, okay, this is how you say this word. You don't say listen. You listen. Oh no, it's not listen, it's listen. Okay, good. All right. It's not future, it's future. So you connect the sounds, you train your ears. Think of it like that. You need to train. If you have problems understanding, you need to train to understand. How do you train to understand? Well, you need to listen. And it's better if you listen in an organized way. right? Don't just listen to anyone, but have a pedagogical system in place. This is why my live streams are very effective. We've gotten great results for students because my because I speak it in a specific way. Right? Sometimes I repeat the same things because that's part of the training. I don't say it once. This is I'm training your ears. When you're listening to me, I design the lessons so as to train your ears. Good. So you listen to train your ears. You train your ears to understand, of course, and then you once your ears are sensitized, then you can pick up the language. You understand what is being spoken. So this is why Maria says she understands what is written, right? If she reads it, she understands. But when it's spoken, it's much harder, right? Because her brain has, is probably like most people, this is totally normal. Maria's brain, is visual. She sees it. And that's because, right, a lot of the sounds are different. So if you know what future means in Spanish, futuro, or in French, futur, then you read it in English. Oh, that's future. But if you hear future, fi u ch, future. Oh, what is that? Future. I don't understand what that means, right? Because the T in this case is pronounced like a ch, future, right? So sometimes there is not, for a lot of people, there is a little bit of a disconnect between, the word, the way you see it, and the way you hear it. That's why you gotta bridge the two skills. You need to bridge the speaking, or actually bridge the listening with the reading together, right? But you also, later we're going to talk about isolating, right? Because you want to isolate, right? Very good. So remember, if something is interesting, make sure you comment on it. So it's a conversation, guys. Right? So we definitely want to be conversing, right? And you speak to strengthen your voice, to make your voice strong. Right. It's about confidence. It is about expression. It is about aura. Right. So when you speak, it really is it's a psychological game. Now it is a linguistic game as well, right? But your voice, right, your ability to communicate on the spot, right? So you don't have time to think. You don't have time to find the perfect word. Like when you're writing, you don't have time to erase and go back and fix a mistake and ask ChatGPT. No, it's in the moment. Speaking strengthens your voice, right? It makes you strong. Right? It's a psychological game. So try this 20-minute routine. So before we do that, let's ask, like, what do you use ChatGPT for? So in the chat, what do you use ChatGPT for? So, so, I know what a lot of you are saying. You're saying, hey, I use Grok 4, the new one. It's absolutely amazing. I use it as well. Now, there's a lot of them, right? But I'm just gonna put ChatGPT here, but any AI, platform or app you can. So, what do you use ChatGPT for? Is it to get information, right? To get information, to brainstorm, right? To do tasks, or other, right? So let's see. Let's see what people say, right? So And if you don't use it, well, let's see. If you don't use it, don't worry. I will show you how to use it. All right. Now, if you don't, then I really recommend that you do. I mean, this is the new frontier. This is the future. And I'm going to teach you right now, a routine. It's 100% for free. And you can use this for free. And it will give you amazing results. Right. So ChatGPT is free. Right, you just go create an account, and everyone should be using this. Right. This is, even if you're retired, even if it's overwhelming, just playing around with it will open a lot of doors. So a lot of people said for brainstorming, right? For idea generation, that's a great use case, right? But it's a different. There are a lot of ways to use it. So try this 20-minute routine. Open ChatGPT and ask it to write a short text at your level, on your level, or in your level. Right? So which one is it? On a topic that interests you. So here, you're just going to go to ChatGPT. If you don't have it, then you open up an account and you're going to tell ChatGPT, and we're going to do it right now. Write me a text. Right now, and then you need to say what level you are. A1 if you're a beginner, A2 if you're elementary, B1 pre-intermediate, B2 upper intermediate, C1 advanced, or C2 proficient. So write me a 5-minute text, and then at your level, right? So you could put what. So you have a 5-minute text at your level, that's interesting for you, right? So this is your customizable, or customified, or customized reading material, right? So traditionally, you would just go online and find an article. So you would go to Google and say, okay, B1 level article for English learners, or for Spanish learners, for French learners. And then you get some articles. Here, you can create your own article. Right? You create your own article. You say, oh, I'm interested. My friend said something about I don't know, the Himalayas, right? Or something about Socrates or Plato, or South America or Brazil, or about the rock and roll movement, right? Or Ronald Reagan, or whatever topic that's interesting for you, whatever's on your mind. Just go and say, hey, write me a 5-minute article or text about this topic. Right? You can even say, add some different tenses, some phrasal verbs, whatever. So here, this is customized. So it's customized. It's for you. It's reading material that is designed for you. Right? AI will give you something that's interesting for you at your own level. Now, this one's a little bit interesting right here. So pay attention, because it can be a little tricky. So ask it to read it loudly, aloud, or loud, in the accent and speed you prefer. So I will show you this. So with ChatGPT, you can tell it to read it to you, right? You can tell it, say, hey, I want a British accent. I want American. You can even be more specific. I want a business English accent from New York, or I want an Australian surfer accent, or South African, or Scottish, or Liverpool, Manchester, Cambridge, whatever, Newcastle, London, right? So you can be as specific as you want. You don't get this. I mean, you get this. You know, you can find people like me with an American accent, right? But let's say you want. It's hard for you to understand your Scottish coworker, right? Or maybe you want to go to Scotland and it's really hard for you to understand the Scottish accent. Well, then tell ChatGPT to read the text or to create a different text, right, about a different topic, right, and read it to you using the accent. And it can be slow, natural, depending. Maybe you want to start slow because it's hard for you. So tell ChatGPT to read it slowly, right? And this is how you can train your ear by focusing only on the sounds and rhythms. Remember, no reading, guys. We don't want to be reading. We want to isolate the ear. So people say, oh, well, I'm watching movies and I'm listening and reading the subtitles. Yes, that's true, but your brain gets diluted. Your attention gets diluted. Your brain is focusing on the reading and on the listening, and your brain can't do two things at once, right? So if to train your ear, you need to isolate it, right? Isolate it. So no reading, no pictures. Also, when you're watching videos, your brain gets distracted by the visuals. You're like, oh wow, that guy looks nice. Oh, that girl, she's angry. Oh, she looks like my friend from work. Oh, I have those same shoes. Ooh, that burger looks delicious. No. You want to isolate the ear. Maybe even close your eyes. Close your eyes, no reading. Basically, 100% of your attention needs to be on the sounds, only the sounds, right? Visualize it, hear them, try to catch them, try to see them in your brain, right? So we want to isolate. That's part two, right? I will show you, we will go to ChatGPT in just 1 second. I will show you how to do this, right? So that's point two, right? So you read, right? And then you listen, right? So that's the input. Reading, it's input, but it's visual. Then you listen. It can be the same text, right? If you have problems, maybe that's a good way to start. It's the same exact text. If it's easy for you, then ask ChatGPT to write something else for you, something different, and then play it. Now, the third part, so that's 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Here we're in the third segment. Without using a dictionary or translator. No translator, no notes, no dictionary. Write about the same topic. So you want to recycle the language, recycle the grammar that you read, that you previously read, but now you want to produce it, right? So you want to write about the same topic, write about the same idea, at memory, from memory, or on memory or to memory. Right? You want to train your memory. We always talk about this, how our memory is really deficient. This exercise will activate your memory. Right? So you read your text, then you listen to it, or you listen to a different one, and then zero notes, zero translation, zero dictionary, zero anything. Basically, you and your pen, and a piece of paper, 5 minutes, non-stop. So correct is from memory. Right? So from memory. So here, you read, you listen. Number 3, you write. Now I'm going to explain to you how to write. You don't stop, you don't think, because you're training your fluency. It has to flow. Okay, so let's say you're interested in the Amazon. So you listen to something about the Amazon, or you read about something about the Amazon, from ChatGPT. ChatGPT reads 5 minutes of more information about the Amazon. Then you get your piece of paper and you start writing. And you don't want your pen to stop. This is how you build fluency. The Amazon is very interesting. They said it is bigger than the United States. There are 50,000 species of blah, blah, blah. And then just keep writing. Don't worry about your mistakes. Don't worry about grammar. Just here you want to build your fluency. Remember, when you're speaking, you don't have time to say, okay, stop, let me think about this word for 1 minute, and then I will tell you. No. People don't have time to wait for you. People need it now. So fluency is about that. It's about being able to bring out the language from your memory immediately. Right? Writing does that, but it has to be specific writing. You don't have time to be like, oh, okay, how do I say that word? Oh, let me see. Okay. What was that word? Let me think about it. No, you write nonstop for 5 minutes. You can't stop. You can't stop writing. You can write slowly, right? But you can't stop writing for 5 minutes. And you want to use the same words and the same grammar that you read about. You'll be using your memory for this. Okay. Sonia says you cover your ears and you listen to yourself. Yeah, that's another trick. That is another trick right here, right there. That's a good one. Right. So you want to recall the vocabulary, the grammar, and the structure naturally when you write. The last point right here, then set a timer, get a timer, make a timer, or take a timer for 2-3 minutes, right? And speak out loud about the same topic. So here it's basically kind of like the writing, but you're speaking. So here, again, zero notes. Don't self-correct. Don't use a dictionary or Google Translate to find the word. Just speak. All right, let the words flow. Now, bonus points if you can do it in front of a mirror. A lot of people say, David, I don't like to see myself speak. Right? Bonus points if you can record yourself. Take your phone, speak to the camera for 3 minutes in English or whatever language you're learning, and you're not going to share it, don't worry. You're not going to put it on TikTok unless you want to. But what you want to do here is to time yourself, to be able to, again, use your memory to speak for an extended period of time. And you want to build the flow. So you want to be able to synthesize the language. You want to be able to use the structure, the grammar, the vocabulary on the spot. Right? Now, I know 90% of people can't speak to a camera. They don't like to see themselves. They have problems, they, maybe a confidence, or maybe they just don't like the sound of their own voice or the way they look or something. But confidence is about seeing yourself, loving yourself, accepting yourself, being proud of yourself, owning who you are, right? So when you and all the actors, all the public speakers, all the politicians, or most of them, the smart ones at least, when they have coaches, all the coaches say, I want you to give that speech in front of the mirror. I want you to practice speaking, practice communicating in front of the mirror or in front of a camera, because that will build your confidence. That will allow you to own yourself. That will allow you to um, accept yourself, right? To see yourself, right? And ultimately to elevate your confidence. All right, so that's it, right? 2-3 minutes, set a timer, and speak out loud about the same topic. Don't stop, don't self-correct, just let the words flow. Okay, yeah, the point, that's it, Maria, right? You need to record it. I mean, if recording it is too hard for you, just start without, but you can't look at your notes, right? If recording or recording a video for 2-3 minutes is too much, just set the timer. Just put 3 minutes on your phone and speak nonstop for 3 minutes. That's level 1. Level 2 is 3 minutes. Set the timer on your phone, 3 minutes, and look at a mirror and speak to the mirror for 3 minutes about the same topic. Level 3 is set the timer, 3 minutes, get your phone, turn on the camera, and speak for 3 minutes about the topic and record it and then watch it. That's level 3. First of all, it will allow you to build that flow, that fluency. Second, it will give you confidence because you will start to accept yourself. Most people who lack confidence, they don't accept themselves. Most people who lack confidence, they can't stand seeing themselves on video. They're talking to the camera and they're like, man, I sound so dumb. Can't believe, I look weird. My hair looks weird. I sound weird. Look at my, you know, but then you get over it. You get over it and, you move on, right? So tell me, right? How comfortable are you? Let me know in the chat. How comfortable are you watching yourself on video, recording yourself and then watching yourself on video? That could be very telling. That could be very telling. So that's the 4th step, right? Now, what we want to do is we want to separate each skill. So by separate or by separating, which form is correct? A or B, right? Each skill, your brain, so A or B, choose A or B, your brain works more efficiently. Like, this is cognitive science. right? Just like when you go work out, right? You want that mind body muscle mind connection, right? And sometimes when you isolate one body part, you get a bigger connection, right? Not just, okay, I'm going to train all my muscles at the same time. Well, you want to have that connection, right? So your brain works more efficiently when you isolate different elements. You isolate the reading, you isolate the listening, you isolate the writing, and you isolate the speaking. And of course, in a conversation, it's all of them. In class, you use all of them. But for your training, for your routine, you want to isolate each skill, right? So by separating each skill, your brain works more efficiently. Just like muscles at the gym, each area strengthens faster when it's trained independently. Okay, Irena says, I sound and look strange when I record myself. That's the point, Irena, right? That shows maybe that you lack, that you're not very confident, or that your confidence could improve, right? Because every confident person likes to, or at least doesn't have a problem seeing themselves, you know or recording themselves, right? So I mean, I'm not trying to be the psychologist here, because I'm not a psychologist. I know a lot about psychology, but if you don't like how you sound, well, then how do you expect to be confident? Right? Confidence is magnetic. Confidence is about saying, yeah, I love how I sound. I sound great. It doesn't mean you're perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. You're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But it's about saying, this is who I am. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay. I'm happy with it. Right? And so, how do you get over it? How do you get over that block that says, hey, I don't like how I sound. I don't like how I look. Yeah. How do you get over it? You train it. All right, so a lot of nice comments here. Let's see. The intonation. You got to practice intonation as well. It's very important. Sign isn't confident, but you're trying. You did well in the challenge last week, Sonia. Congratulations. That was a great, great challenge. And you see, it was a victory. It was a victory. You did well. One step at a time. Now we got to get your next victory. Right? So confidence is confident, right? Yeah, you've had some classes, right? And you make mistakes. That's normal. It's normal to make mistakes, right? It can be annoying, right? But no one is perfect. I know Oxford professors, PhDs, and they've made mistakes. Right? Everyone makes mistakes. So don't beat yourself up for it. All right. So you want to isolate these skills. So reading helps you absorb sentence patterns, the patterns. Your brain sees patterns. Right? If I say, okay, XO, 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 your brain says, okay, it's one and one, one and one. If I say XXOO, 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 your brain says, okay, it's two and two, two and two, right? And then the language, it's just patterns. So reading, even if you don't know it does, your brain does a lot of things subconsciously. Your brain is absorbing, is recognizing patterns, even if you don't realize it. Right? So reading helps you see those patterns. It's very difficult to see those patterns if you don't read. The smartest people, the best linguists, the best polyglots, the biggest intellectuals always read. That's how you master a language. That's how you master patterns and structure. Writing sharpens your ability to form thoughts. You want to form thoughts, you want to create ideas. Writing helps you do that. Writing, trains your brain to produce the language. Right? Of course, speaking, that's the next level, but writing, it's slow speaking. Right? The same thought process that you use when you speak is the same thought process that you use when you write. Again, handwriting, because when you're typing, you can go back, you can fix, you can do autocorrect, and that's not going to help. It will help when you're sending an email, it will help when you're writing something that needs to be perfect. But for this exercise, writing, typing is not going to help you form ideas, right? It's not going to help you build fluency, right? And then listening fine tunes your comprehension. Listening is about training, fine tuning your ear, right? Speaking brings it all together. Right? That's the pinnacle. Speaking is when you, right? That is the art. That is the apex of language. It's the hardest thing to do, right? That's why public speakers, good communicators are always at the top of the food chain. Sure. So, in the chat, you want me to read the entire sentence so that you can catch the intonation. Of course, reading helps you absorb sentences. Oh, sorry. Reading helps you absorb sentence patterns and structure. Writing sharpens your ability to form thoughts. Listening fine tunes your comprehension, and speaking brings it all together. See, that's intonation, right? So you can also, this is the next level, you can also isolate, when you're listening, you can isolate the sounds, you can isolate the intonation, you can isolate, right, the phonetic component, even the pace, the speed. Right, so it's not just about intonation, up, down, it's also about the speed. If you realize when I speak and when most people speak, it's not the same speed all the time. Sometimes it speeds up, sometimes it slows down, right? So when you become, well, more when you want to go deeper into it, then you can also isolate several elements within the listening. You can isolate several elements within the reading. You can read for syntax, for structure, for for the verbs, right? For the verbs, for the specific elements, right? So good, right? To truly take your language to the next level, right? You need to use language in real conversations. So this is at the end of the day. Yeah. But actually, before we do that, actually let's go right here. Let's go to ChatGPT, guys. All right, we're just gonna do this right here. Right, we'll put a new chat, and we're gonna go right here to ChatGPT. All right, guys. Right, so here, that's ChatGPT right here, guys. Can you see my screen? Right, and then we're gonna say, step number one, give me a 5-minute text, level B2 in English. Right, you can be more specific in academic English, in everyday English, right? About life in the 19th century. Now you could do this, or you could add more details. Include, tenses. You could talk about include tenses Phrasal verbs, fancy vocabulary, whatever you want to do, right? You can just tell AI what you want, right? Tell AI what you want. And then AI will write you your own article, right? So here, life in the blah, blah, blah. And it's exactly your level B2. Talk about aliens, you can talk about food, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. They will give you something like this. Okay, so you read it. Now this is number 2, guys. This is an important part. Here, so here you can say read out loud, right? And you could also put it here. So read it out loud with a Cambridge accent, right? Read out loud with a Cambridge accent, slowly, and then you put that. Okay, so there you could do that. So there, you can. Okay. Oh, let's see. Good. So you can do it like this, or you could just put it like this. Read aloud right here. So basically, you just do. Okay. So you go that. You go there, and then right. So you can also, so you could do that, right? So there's basically you want to listen to it, right? And there you're not taking notes, you're just listening, right? And then you write for 5 minutes and then you speak. No notes, no dictionary, no translator. Yeah, you might need to get, but there's for if the free version gives you here. So this one is free. It's not you don't have to pay for this. Right? So just go to this right here. This right here, read aloud. You can do this one. Right. Okay. And now I think the functionality for different accents, that's probably maybe the more advanced one. But maybe I think maybe some few of the other ones can do it as well. Okay. So yeah, that is your training. But of course, sooner or later, you will need to use the language in real conversations, right? Because speaking is a social skill, not just a mental one. And that's it. You can have the best routine, know all the grammar, know everything about it, but speaking is a social thing, right? So sooner or later, you'll have to speak with people, right? It's like training versus game. Independent practice builds your foundation. But like training for a sport, the real test and the real growth happens when you step into the game and speak with another human. Right? So learning and practicing and using AI, that's great. Right? But the real test and the real growth happens when you step into the game and you speak to another person face to face because it's a social skill. Right? I offer this, classes online, so you don't have to, go to a school or anything. It's all from your computer. You can join the class from your computer, from your phone, from your tablet, learn, speak, communicate, right? And so, if you want to do that, if you want to practice, or maybe if you're not ready, Well, you know, we can design a plan for you when you will be ready. Right? If you don't like to speak with other people, I have a team of tutors. I have people that work for me. I have 4 teachers that work with my students. So you can work with a personal tutor and help you, and they can help you speak and produce it face to face learning. So it's not just learning vocabulary, but it is putting it to use with another human being. Okay. So join the community, right? Join now the WhatsApp community for exclusive content, weekly challenges, right? A speaking club, Zoom lessons, tutoring, direct access to me. The WhatsApp community is the place to get the best. All right. I've got English, French, and Spanish, right? And I can help you make reach your goals. Okay. So remember, try that routine. Try it tomorrow. 20 minutes. 5, 5, 5, and 5. Reading, listening, writing, speaking. Try it out. But the most important thing is do it for an extended period of time and you will see the results. Okay, take care, everyone. Nice to see you. Have a great evening, and I will see you very, very soon. Okay, take care, guys. Bye bye.